It's showtime. Yes, it is. And we are back. I'm back because I did this already and oh my God. I'm using it though because this is what the seminar is about. Ooh, hold on. Got it. Shakti is coming up and out because we are doing the thing. I'm just tapping in. Hold on. She said, let me show you expression and what that looks like without restriction. Yes, ma'am. There's a lot in me that wants to come out right now. So I'm going to have to move a little bit just to start this off. But this video is really about this. It's about uncoding the restrictions that stop this. This is what I'm doing is a dance. It might look weird to some people, it might be disgusting to some people, and most people might not be able to experience what I am doing, but what I'm doing is a dance, and dance to me isn't supposed to be structured and perfect. There's some dances like that, but there's also a thing called an ecstatic dance. And I know my spiritual people know what that's like because that's really freedom of expression and liberation. And really what we have to aim for in our overall communication. When our expression is limited and there's coding and blocks, we aren't able to move forward in our purpose, in our vision, in our dream, because what brings that? What is that moves that and creates that? Your expression is what creates that. So you can see that if there is a coding and a block on your expression and your unique divine expression, may I add, you are not going to be able to keep on fulfilling in your life purpose. When we are moving in the direction of our dreams, there's going to be things that come up to stop us. And the only way that we can activate our powers through those things is by using those darker things or energies and channeling it through our divine expression, right? So, when I move in a certain way, and I am allowing for words to come out of my voice and for symbolization to come through my hands and my body. Hold on, I'm scared. I'm so scared. I'm so scared right now. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Yes, you are doing that. Oh my gosh. I'm going through a grieving period over my last post because I know that there can't be expectation and a want for this perfection or something to be something else than it really is, to have I'm still here. I shared this before. Hold on. Wow. Wowza, wowza, wowza. The character is fully enamored into this. Some of the things I'm saying might not even make sense. But I'm committing. Like, I'm just committing to whatever way it wants to come out, whatever way it wants to be channeled. I'm allowing that because I want to show people who I am in order for them to tap into different aspects of their being. I'm not even looking at the camera at this point because I'm just looking at this. The camera's here. I am not perfect at all, and I have to stop trying to be. Perfectionism blocks the expression so much. Because you have to make sense. That's a cultural programming. You have to, you know, convey the message in a certain way that, reaches people and just really connects with people. But honestly, if you can't connect with me, I'm going through some blocks, see, while I'm making this post, because this is what it's about. I have some parental programming coming up in my mind, and it's saying, like, whose fault is that? Right? Mm. The struggle is real. But we have to start somewhere, guys. So here is me starting and where I'm supposed to be headed. Oh my goodness. Yeah. I lost it. I lost completely what I was going to say. you know, it's hard to stay clear sometimes in your intent after mixing with certain things, taking in certain things. I woke up this morning very clear channeled. There was some stuff that was pulling me, but I was able to use it and to channel out the thing that I was doing. And I just had very clear understanding of what it was that I wanted to convey across. And I'm sad because I really wanted to teach this topic. And I can't let go of the past and move forwards. It keeps on haunting me, man. Pulling me down and not allowing me to move forwards in my expression and in my truth and in my word. So it's exactly what we are talking about in this video, the blocks of that. And you're going to see, I'm going to get to the other side. And when I'm at the other side, we're going to look and say, okay, yes, we are the creators of our experience and we are creating exactly what we speak. It's just inevitable. I am the prime example. Read the caption, a description of this. It's literally what I'm embodying right now. And I will get through, I will get through to the other side. And when I'm at the other side, I'm going to say this to you. I'm going to say, that was the expression, baby. That was what needed to come through. That was the message. That was the channeling. And that was all you. And being okay with your expression is the gift, that you could give yourself. Because we're not afraid of our expression. What we're afraid of is the outcome the punishment or whatever we will do to it. And when we no longer fear that, when our bodies can trust us to take care of us regardless of the situation, even at the worst of the worst, even when it comes out in the most disgusting and horrendous ways, because it will at times. You fully allow it to come through. It could come out in the most horrible ways. If you still love yourself after, that's when it builds. That's when the endurance builds. And that's when the intuition builds. Because it trusts you. It trusts you to follow through on it and do what you need to in order to move forwards. So there's a lot of things that I could say about energies. Because to me, energy is the foundation in order for the activation to come out in the external. So first things are inside and then they come out in the external. And this will show up in a lot of ways. So the main example for me is the feminine and the masculine inside myself, right? So we have both of these energies within us. This is pretty common knowledge in the culture, but I'm going to share my points because I use those terms referring to these different parts of who I am. And there is the hyper creative force, the feminine, and then the hyper masculine force, the masculine. And when I'm getting choked up over my words because I don't want to talk about things that are coming from other people's way creating, because I don't want to take their ideas. I really wanted to allow for something new to come up because I'm not somebody that likes to, say the same stuff that everyone else says because I want to be different in my truth. And for me, all of this is kind of an illusion and Maya for us to, make sense in the mental, but really when it comes down to it, we are the observer watching all of this experience. So the times where I still myself and I come back to truth, it's because I'm getting too lost in the Maya. Yes, there's different energies and ideas and concepts, masculine, feminine, therapies, parts work, all of this stuff is very much helpful in the mind. But there comes a point where we have to transcend that in order to get to the other side because that stuff limits us and limits our truth. So I share that out of the importance of distinguishing falsehood from truth. Yes, do I believe that there's two energies inside me? Yes, but the key word is belief. The key word is belief. And I like esoteric knowledge. And in esoteric knowledge, there's polarity, masculine and feminine. If the feminine is being expressive and the masculine attacks it by trying to contain it and control it, and when I say contain, I say cage, not contain, like safe container, like this is a safe space for you, my love. I'm not going to control you. That's healthy, masculine. But it's more so when you try to put it in a cage, that's when the feminine goes overdrive and lashes out and tries to attack the masculine. So the masculine tries to attack the feminine by controlling it, and then the feminine will lash out and attack the masculine and will come out in very outlandish ways and out there ways and expressive ways that can be destructive and hurtful to others and to the self. So this is kind of why we want to acknowledge these things within us, because they are happening inside of us and they will manifest it outwards. We see it in the world, but we will also see it in our close dynamics. So what we want to do now is, when we feel these different destructive energies, we can get to a place where, instead of going and attacking someone, what we could do is channel it into our work. Use that heat and fire for our work. Because by creating an experience where you have to level with somebody else in order to attack them, you are creating more of that experience instead of what you're actually moving towards. So we have to know how to train our energy to go in a certain way, because that goes through our attention and our consciousness. Wanting a better experience for ourselves and not to stay in the 2D and the lower realms of reality is important to create your experience and your vision. I don't want anybody to feel like, because of the people around them or the experience that they're in, they are limited to being like these beings and also stuck, because you're not. You're not. You're not. And the more that you stop trying to interfere with their free will and stay in your own truth, focus on your thing, focus on, I call it the new life, and building more and more of that, you're going to move into that effortlessly. It's not effortless all the time, but effortlessly, you know, moving into the new life takes some conscious freaking effort, because as soon as you go light, the darkness will get louder. Are you going to match the darkness? When you try to fight the darkness, you have to match with them. Don't let people invade your space, but also don't invade others people's darkness. Don't invade other people's darkness. When it's right, it's right. When you have to talk and say something, it's right. Certain times. But that savior in you, the one that wants to save the others from and be in a better space and help them, that's coming from arrogance and thinking that you know what's best for them. And this has to do with divine oneness. Oneness. Knowing that everybody's a mirror. Knowing that every single person is just your reflection of your mind. And when you attack that person, you're attacking yourself. And yourself is truth and pureness. Not your ego self, your truth. So that judgment that comes in is you interfering with the will of somebody else and saying, oh, God's creation is wrong. No. That's what your ego thinks. There's no mistakes in reality, and reality is perfect the way it is. Good and bad is a duality. So it works, I guess, for your ego's persona, but when you start to awaken, you're not going to want to hurt people because it hurts you. And if you still can't see that you guys are one and the same, you have to drop to a lower level and act in a certain way. And this is where self-love comes in, because even when you act in a certain way, can you still love your expression even when it comes out in hurtful ways? Sometimes it has to be that way. In order to learn the lesson. You don't always learn the lesson by being in meditation. Damn, I needed to hear that for myself. You don't always learn the lesson by being in meditation. Sometimes the lesson takes you into the Maya, into destructive. Sometimes you have to destruct in order to learn a lesson, which is painful. I think that's all.